This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, close to 1,000 people gathered outside Dunedin's Al Hura Mosque to remember victims of last Friday's terror attack in Christchurch. The call to prayer echoed across a packed Forsyth Bar Stadium in Dunedin last night. And like much of the country, people on the West Coast stopped to remember Christchurch this afternoon. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. Close to 1,000 people gathered outside Dunedin's Al Hura Mosque today to remember those who fell victim to last Friday's terror attack in Christchurch. Those gathered were welcomed with a karakia ahead of a national call to prayer and 2 minutes silence to remember those killed in one of New Zealand's darkest days.
Dunedin's Muslim community gathered inside the mosque at Clyde Street this afternoon for Friday prayers, exactly 1 week after the Christchurch mosque shootings. Close to 1,000 others gathered outside to show their support, warming the heart of Reverend Wayne Takawa.
I learned last year that Islam is a religion of peace, and I love coming to the mosque, sitting on their prayers at the stadium. When the call for prayer went out, I lined up with them. I didn't have a prayer mat, but they put a prayer mat in front of me, and there's a peace that I feel in their prayers that I didn't feel in my own church.
Many of the women gathered outside the mosque were wearing a hijab as a mark of support for their Muslim sisters. Local woman Zara Mohammed says the show of support is well appreciated.
Oh, it's amazing. Honestly, I was at a loss for words. I showed up and it was quite overwhelming in the best sense of the word, and it means that even through all this hate and what's happened, that we're accepted, and it's made us feel valued and loved and part of the community. So yeah, it was wonderful.
There was a hushed and mournful atmosphere ahead of a karakia and haka. After the haka, those outside stood silent while Muslims prayed inside, respecting a 2-minute silence which started at Hagley Park at 1:32 p.m, following a national call to prayer at 1:30. Speakers were placed outside the mosque so those not inside could take part in the prayer and listen to the sermon. On advice from police, the mosque was only open for prayers at the moment.
Next week on Sunday 31st of March between 10 and 5 p.m. we have our mosque open there. Please come and join us, and we will reciprocate our appreciation as well. There might be something that we do. I'm not going to confirm that right now, but wait and see during midday.
Some people were still too scared to send children to school, but say the support shown since last Friday has helped ease some of the fear. About 10 armed police officers were also present today. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A police officer in Dunedin vetted the man accused of the Christchurch terror attacks and interviewed him in his home before he was issued a firearms licence. Police say in a statement the man applied for a firearms licence in Dunedin in September 2017. They say the correct process was followed by the staff involved in his application. A police firearms vetting officer in Dunedin undertook the vetting process shortly after the accused arrived in the city. In November, the man received his firearms licence application. The call to prayer echoed across a packed Forsyth Bar Stadium in Dunedin last night. As the sun set, members of Dunedin's Muslim community knelt in silent worship, surrounded by the flickering candles of a city united in support.
The Islamic call to prayer filling Forsyth Bar Stadium last night. This time Muslim prayers were not shattered by hatred or violence, they were answered with love, as 18,000 people showed our Muslim community they are part of us.
To our wider community, care for each other, all of each other. Go in peace also. Make peace with yourself and any cultural suspicions you have. Embrace difference.
أمضوا بسلام أيضا اعتنوا بأنفسكم
انظروا إلى هذه الاختلافات وامدحوها وقووها واجعلوها اختلافات تقوينا جميعا.
The crowd spread out across the stadium pitch and filled the Mitre 10 stand for Dunedin's civic vigil. Dunedin North MP Dr David Clark says it's a blessing to see so many people lighting up dark times.
Yeah, Assalam alaikum. Really moved to be here at the stadium tonight with so many thousands of Dunedinites who are out in support and solidarity with those who have lost loved ones and those who are grieving.
Before the vigil began, more than 10,000 students and staff sent a powerful message of solidarity as they walked in spine-tingling silence from the University of Otago to the stadium. Dunedin Mayor Dave Cull urged the crowd to forget the perpetrator and his poisonous beliefs and focus on showing aroha to all.
If we don't forge goodness out of this evil, light out of the darkness and friendship out of suspicion and enmity, then the forces of hate have triumphed.
50 candles were lit for the victims of last week's Christchurch massacre by representatives of Dunedin organisations. Muslim community representative Dr Mai Tamimi gave a direct message for her Muslim sisters, with her words being translated.
ارفعي رأسك عاليا.
Stand up high.
ارفعي رأسك عاليا.
Put your head up high.
It was a sentiment echoed by Otago Muslim Association Chairman Mohammed Rizwan as he thanked the crowd and the city for its support. The stadium vigil was organised by the Dunedin City Council and the Otago University Amnesty International Group. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A man on trial has been found not guilty of manslaughter by a jury in relation to a death at an Invercargill rugby club. Nathan Graham Hall was facing the charge related to an event on the 10th of February last year. On that date, Chanel Lee Simmons, also known as Chanel Henwood, died after he was allegedly assaulted at a party at the Marist Old Boys Rugby Football Club. After about 2.5 hours of deliberation today, a jury at the Invercargill High Court found Hall not guilty. Like much of the country, people on the West Coast stopped to remember Christchurch this afternoon. Residents observed a 2-minute silence at homes, schools, businesses, in private and in public. In Greymouth, they were stopped in the town square, using different languages to pay tribute and come together. Greymouth High School students performed a waiata and a haka, as well as offering a prayer. Emma Wepu says while they did the haka facing east to Christchurch, she called to the north where the spirits go. Then the clock tower chimed 50 times for every soul lost. Events were also held in Westport and Hokitika. Still to come on the South Today, we catch up with a group of Christchurch volunteers providing support to victims of last week's terror attack in Christchurch.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garrador to protect your important stuff, just like Darren. His Garrador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
Dunedin Beds R Us are having a stock clearance sale during the month of February. Up to 50% off New Zealand-made Sleepyhead beds. Come see Ricky and the team at 505 Princess Street, next to Armstrong Prestige. Plenty of parking.
Oh, help! Don't suffer in silence. Call Sunny Chin, Chi Master Body Technician, for structural, muscular, emotional bodywork. Phone 03 4250 606 for all your pain relief.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Medical Centre have 2 late night clinics. We are now open on a Tuesday and Thursday night until 7 p.m. with doctor and nurse appointments available. Phone us on 488 2754 to make a booking or to find out more information.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life. When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Tune in to Eastern Light Filmworks every week.
Welcome back. They've been running on adrenaline since Friday with little sleep, but a group of Christchurch volunteers keep going. They're delivering food and essentials to the victims and the families of last week's Christchurch terror attack and say they're in it for the long haul.
Thank you guys so much. I'm Ashley. I am the Operations Manager for Christchurch Victims Organising Committee, and we are looking after the victims and their families. It started with Jian, our chair. She was in hospital. She saw what was happening with the bodies coming in. She went down and she started making calls, called me as well and said, you need to come, called a few of us to come together. And until I got here, a group of people had already come through to volunteer, which was amazing. From day one, they were there helping out day in, day out. Some of them barely slept. At the moment, we need things like things that you can kind of see behind me. We've just done a call out for travel pack shampoos and conditioners for families that are coming. We need people to deliver non-perishable goods. That's what we need now, but when things settle down a little bit, we've got a list of things that we actually need. We want to offer long-term support as well. So we've got a Facebook page where we're quite active, and anybody that's willing to donate anything, if they can please just contact our social media page. You can search us through the hashtag CHCHVOC. And just send us a message and tell us that you've got this, and we'll let you know where to drop them off. A lot of students are volunteering, which is great, and I want to see that. A lot of university students are volunteering, but the victims' families are volunteering, and yeah, and they just want to do something, which is very, very sweet. And it's nice actually, like they come here and they feel comfortable because we're all together and we're all working together, and they just they want to stick around, and that's what we want. If we can offer them that support, they don't have to do anything, they just hang out with us and while we're doing our work, and they like that because they know that we're doing this for them and their families and the community. So at the moment, we're putting together a list of their families and what they need, so whether they need things urgently, and then we come back and we pack them into little bags and we get them delivered. So we've got the families of the victims going to the horticulture, and that's great, so there's a community there. But there's, we've got family members in the hospital still. So what I'm going to do today is go with a couple of our volunteers as well, take a list with me, get their details, and write down anything they need urgently, or anything that their family members need urgently, because nobody's got the time to go shopping at this time. Nobody's going to go grab a trolley and walk through a supermarket. So we need to see what they need urgently. We're going to come back, we're going to start packing them, we're going to label them, so that's why I need their details, and then we're going to see if we can get that out in the next couple of hours. Yeah, and then just stay in touch with them over the next few days until things get better, and then hopefully when they do go home, would like to visit them at home and see what else they need. So that's what I mean by long term. We want this to be an ongoing support until everybody's almost back to normal. We're looking to see if any phone companies or power companies would like to offer some discounts or free services to the families of the victims, at least for 6 months, just until things get better. Yeah, I think that would be quite good. So that's something I really, really, really want to get into and see if we can get some sort of sponsorship or support from some of the companies in New Zealand. I want to thank people that have come in, dropped by and dropped off food. They've dropped off goods. They've dropped off flowers. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank people that have randomly given us hugs on the street. I want to thank people that have sent us a message, a simple message, thanking us, and that's nice. We need that at the moment. We need all the support we can get, and it's just nice because everybody wants to do something, and it's beautiful. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
After the break on the South Today, we catch up with Highlander Marty Banks as he prepares for tonight's game against the Blues. And we have the weekend's weather for you, so stay with us.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren. His Garador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
At Green Island Medical Centre, we are committed in caring for our future and present generations. We know as a young person, coming to the doctors can be quite daunting. Our highly skilled doctors and nurses will make your experience one where you will leave with a smile. Your health is very important to us.
Most of us have spots on our skin. That's quite normal. Finding skin cancer as early as possible is key to successful treatment. Book in for a free check of 1 to 2 moles or a comprehensive full body check with the Mole Doctor in Waverley.
Don't suffer in silence. Call Sunny Chin, Chi Master Body Technician, for structural, muscular, emotional bodywork. Phone 03 4250 606 for all your pain relief.
Dunedin Beds R Us are having a stock clearance sale during the month of February, up to 50% off New Zealand made sleepyhead beds. Come see Ricky and the team at 505 Princess Street next to Armstrong Prestige. Plenty of parking.
Step into Shop on Carol and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
for staying with us. First 5 Māori Banks has been given the nod to lead the Highlanders around the field when they take on the Blues in Auckland tonight. But his promotion into the starting 15 is a step up from what he was expecting.
Back in Dunedin after a stint abroad, First 5 Māori Banks has been named to start in tonight's match against the Blues in Auckland.
When I came back from Japan, I sort of came back just sort of looking to guide and help the younger guys out with Joshy and Brynner, but to get a crack to drive the team around the park is something that I wanted to do. It's something I've wanted to do pretty much my whole career, so to get a chance again up at Eden Park, it's pretty exciting and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
The 29-year-old says he tends not to think about the starting role too much and keeps his approach low-key.
Yeah, I guess my role is just to keep the boys in the right part of the field and just try and get the ball into the guys' hands like our outside backs and our midfielders and just try to keep the forwards going forward. So, yeah, I guess my job is normally pretty easy.
It's been an unusual week for the Highlanders after their game was called off last Saturday, but co-captain Ben Smith says they're looking forward to doing what they do best.
That'll give, I suppose, people, a bit of an outlet to watch that game and support us for that 80 minutes, but we realise it's been a sombre week and obviously the team is feeling it.
As for the Blues, Smith says they're a much improved outfit from previous seasons.
They've got a lot of X factor and we're going to have to be on our game to make sure that defensively we're not giving them too much space because, as you've seen over the last few weeks, they're pretty dangerous.
The Highlanders have a bye next round before 3 more matches against New Zealand teams in a row in Dunedin, the South today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. Close to 1,000 people gathered outside Dunedin's Al Hura Mosque today to remember those who fell victim to last Friday's terror attack in Christchurch. The call to prayer echoed across a packed Forsyth Stadium in Dunedin last night. And like much of the country, people on the West Coast stopped to remember Christchurch this afternoon. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Craig Page. What have you got for us in tomorrow's paper?
Good evening. Yeah, well, it's been a tough old week all around the country, I guess, and we continue tomorrow with more on the terror attacks from Christchurch a week ago now. We've got a nice piece, emotional scenes from the Dunedin Mosque, with 1,000 people there paying their respects today. There's also tributes and vigils from around the region as well, some in Queenstown, Wakatipu High School involved, so we've got lots of coverage from that. We've got a lovely story with former Dunedin woman Ruby Jones, who's a bit of a cartoonist and now lives in Wellington. She's produced a cartoon which is going to be printed on the cover of Time magazine, depicting New Zealand in the wake of the shootings, so that's a nice story. And we also pay tribute tomorrow to the 50 victims of the terror attacks with some profiles on them, so that's well worth a look. Weekend Mix on a Saturday, plenty of reading in that. An article on investigative journalist Stephen Davies talks about government cover-ups and big business tactics and the role of conspiracies around the world, and plenty of other reading in the mix as well, and lots of sport as well. Big sports section on a Saturday. We'll have coverage of the clash between the Highlanders and the Blues tonight in Auckland. And it's also a bit of a strange day tomorrow. Club rugby starts, but it's also the final day of club cricket, so we're having a look at that as well. Winter's on its way, sadly, so rug up.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see what the weather's got for us now. Thank you. You can catch all of that in tomorrow's ODT. And now it is time to have a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by MoleMap.
Starting with today's southern view taken of the moon rising as the Dunedin Vigil ends at the stadium. Looking at the situation, a mostly fine and rather warm weekend ahead with high cloud at times and northerly winds. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport can expect a cloudy but warm day with 22-degree highs. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim are also set for cloudy skies and a top temperature of 23 degrees. In Canterbury, you too can expect a cloudy day with 21 degrees for Kaikoura and Christchurch, while Ashburton scoops the high of 23. In the southern towns, moderate northerly, some cloud. The Catlins is looking at 21. Balclutha heads for 23, while Lumsden and Gore are both looking at highs of 24 degrees with some cloud. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes, Wanaka can expect light winds with some cloud and the region high of 28. Similar in Queenstown with a high of 26. Alexandra heads for 27, and Tiana, you have a very pleasant 21 degrees. To the northern towns, Twizel and Amarama, you can expect light winds, some cloud and a sizzling high of 29 for this time of year. Timaru and Oamaru, it will be a bit cooler on 21. In Dunedin, cloudy tonight with light winds. Tonight's low is 14. Tomorrow mostly cloudy with extensive low cloud morning and night. Sunny periods with some high cloud in the afternoon. Looking at a high of 19 and a low of 15. And it's warmer on Sunday with sunny periods with high cloud and moderate to fresh mild northerly winds. A high of 23 and a low of 15. In Invercargill, fine with some cloud tonight. Tonight's low is around 12 degrees. Fine and warm tomorrow with light winds. Skies often covered with high cloud, but expect some sunny periods at times. Heading for a nice high of 24 and a low of 14. And high cloud increases on Sunday with freshening northerlies. Warm weather looking at a high of 25 degrees and a low of 14. That's all our news for this Friday. For the latest news from the Southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great Otago anniversary weekend. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.